Welcome to episode 46, dear friends. Today, this episode is a video podcast. So if you prefer to watch it as a video, then check the link in the show notes. If you rather stay here and listen to just the audio, then you could stay right here and we can jump right in. Last week, something truly, truly beautiful happened. I posted a video nudging people to more positivity. And that video, it's linked below by the way, received 968 positive comments and just one single negative comment. And that is huge on so many levels. And today I'm going to share why. Firstly, in the 7 years that I've been publishing videos, I have never received so many positive, heartfelt comments on just a single video. And this is not me bragging about my video, because it's not about my video. The quality is basically medium. It's not filmed in a particularly appealing way or something. And it has no fast cuts, so it doesn't have anything everyone tells you to have for a video to be engaging. But it's vulnerable, it's authentic, and it's honest. So this is the second huge truth hidden in that video. While marketing and socials, they often push the spectacular, and by doing so, they constantly feed our deepest fear of not being good enough until we buy something, until we do something or behave in a specific way. It seems that humans actually genuinely appreciate and connect with and open up to honesty and to positivity if it's presented in a truthful manner. And although most of us often seem to feel overwhelmed and numbed and triggered by the constant negativity in the news or in the socials, and I definitely do as well, we actually seem to yearn positivity and connection. That's what lights us up, and that's what my video showed me. Also, side note, funny, but side note, important side note is that honesty seems to repel trolls, because just a single negative comment among almost 1,000 positive comments, that's I've never ever had that. So secondly, what happened below that video demonstrates the power, basically the power of taking responsibility for your social media feed, because it matters. I know we feel numb, but we're not powerless. And I shared in that video that social media are designed to hijack our brain circuits and to keep us glued to our phones. And they do that, by the way, by triggering our dopamine system this in the long term is really not good for our brain development. So I nudged to hack your algorithm and to actively influence your feed. How can you do that? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. It's not easy, but it's simple. By commenting positively on the stuff that inspires you and that feels real, and by not engaging negatively with the rest. Why does this work? Well, whatever you interact with, you'll get more of that. As I said, it's simple, but it's not always easy. So that's exactly actually what happened in that video. And that's why I wanted to share it, because some of the commenters actually sent me messages afterwards saying, oh my God, I've been following you for ages and I haven't been seeing your posts, and now finally you're up in my feed again. So this really shows how important it is to take that responsibility. So here is really my call to action. Comment and engage with the things you like. Every single comment on social media, and actually in real life, every single engagement will tell I'm putting air quotes here, I'll tell you why, algorithm, what you want to see. Because on social media, everything you do literally tells the social media algorithm to show you more of it. So you can train your algorithm actively. And this is actually a life-changing tip coming in now. This applies to social media, but it also applies to real life, on and off your mountain bike. Because you keep engaging with the negative stuff, for example, on your mountain bike, that could be, oh my God, I took a bad line, that corner was really bad, I'm too slow, I'm sorry, I'm the slowest on today's ride. So you're apologizing for your mistakes and for the things you basically don't feel good enough. And boom, you start to focus on the negative. You'll start to see more of it. But on the other hand, if you start commenting on the positive things, like appreciating yourself for your improvements, they are there, you just need to notice them, and boom, you'll notice more of that. It's literally neuroscience in action. Because there's a small area in your brain called the reticular activating system, RAS, that it basically acts like a bouncer in a nightclub, and it's like, you're not coming in, because it only lets in things that it thinks you will actually engage with. So the bouncer acts upon that. There is more to this, but the short version is your brain is not a camera. It doesn't show you reality as it is, it filters reality based on what you've engaged with in the past. If you want a full episode about this, by the way, then comment below, because I can talk about how focus literally creates your reality. But that's why I always say attention is your most valuable asset. And trust is the most valuable currency in this world. Because here's the thing, attention needs to be trained and trust needs to be built. You can't buy attention and trust, but I promise you attention and trust will allow you to buy anything, because they will make you rich, because you focus on the things that genuinely serve you and the world, and you build trust by being honest. Earning money is a natural consequence because people start to trust you. And if you genuinely want to serve, it's a self-feeding loop. And while that's a topic that goes way deeper than what I want to dive in today, the essence of this is social media is an amazing tool to practice exactly this. Because you can train your algorithm by starting to focusing your attention on the positive things that cause positive emotions, and ignore the rest. Just scroll past the negativity. Even if it's something that annoys you, ignore it, scroll on, find something positive, honest, something that lights your soul on fire, something vulnerable, something real, and comment on that. Let's make social again. And I promise you, this will literally change your social media feed within a few days. And thirdly, what that video really taught me is how much our brain is biased, and that we need to keep training it constantly. You remember I said there were about 960 something comments and there was one negative comment. So which one do you think I can recall the content of more vividly? Yeah, exactly, that negative one. But, and here's a huge takeaway coming. Let me explain this first though. The so-called negativity bias in your brain is the tendency to pay more attention to threats, to negativity, to mistakes and dangers, than to pay attention to neutral and positive things. So the brain is basically like Velcro for the bad and Teflon for the good. And the why to that is simple, because yeah, missing a good thing may be annoying, but missing a dangerous thing could end your life. So your brain has one primary job: to keep you alive. Its job is not to make you happy, not to make you confident. Its job is to keep you safe. That's why we have this negativity bias. But here's how you can influence it. The negativity bias reinforces itself through repetition, like everything in our brain. So when negative experiences feel more vivid, then you think about them more, and whatever you think about more, that builds stronger neural pathways. In other words, the negativity bias builds its own highway in your brain. But the good news, you can build a positivity highway too. But it takes conscious practice because your brain is wired for negativity. So what do? What's my conscious practice? Every time I notice that my brain is starting to wander off to that negativity, to that negative comment, for example, I take out my phone and I scroll through the positive ones and I interact with the positive ones. And I actually literally have a little album where I have screenshots with the most positive comments because I keep looking at them. It takes effort, but it's worth it. And I do the same out on the bike. Let's say I'm riding a rocky section. My negativity bias will automatically say, it will scan for danger. It will say, oh, don't hit that rock. That is really dangerous. You don't want to do that. And then my body will prepare for threat. It will tense up. It will narrow my visual field. So the result is I'll feel stiff. I'll feel less confident. And ironically, I'll also be more likely to hit that exact thing that I'm fearing. But when I deliberately focus on the safe, on the solid line, on the patch of trail that I actually want to hit, that reinforces the positive loop. And then if I reinforce that with positive talk, I give myself clear cues on what I'm already good at. And that's how I override the negativity bias just enough to access my skills again. And that's exactly why so many mountain bike coaches keep repeating the mantra, look where you want to go, not where you don't want to go. It's literally retraining your brain's evolutionary filter. Sometimes the people will say, like, this focus on the good stuff, it's woo-woo and it's toxic positivity. And yes, there is toxic positivity too, but generally focusing on the good does not mean denying difficulties or ignoring negative emotions. It just means training your brain to notice possibilities and act upon them. So you can, by doing that, ride better, you can feel more positive and less numb in daily life, and you can build trust. And trust, that means trust towards yourself, but also just like a deeper trust in general. And that's what that short video really taught me. It taught me that humans yearn connection, they yearn positivity, and that we can and that we must influence our social media feeds and our daily focus. And that it's simple, repeated acts that train both your brain to notice and to live a more positive life, and also the acts in social media. And that's something everyone will benefit from. And mountain biking, just like social media, is a perfect tool to train this and to take the responsibility for our happiness. So the short takeaway of today's video is negative focus trains your brain to find danger, and you become better at spotting exactly the problems, the flaws, and the threats. And positive focus trains your brain to find possibilities. So you become better at spotting opportunities, solutions, and actually also small wins and progress. And both are self-fulfilling because your brain filters your reality through whatever you choose to engage with. Yeah, hope you enjoyed this episode today. If you did, you may want to leave me a positive comment. And by the way, the people who make all my content possible is my patrons. Thank you. If you would like to support me on Patreon, you'll find the link below. And if you want to sign up to get tips directly into your inbox, you can do that right here. That's all I have today. Goodbye.